Hi, my name is Tenasia Alcorn, and today I'll be delivering a micro-teaching session on how to create an effective writing assignment. A little bit of research and a lot of experience has led me to a few steps that could help you to create effective writing assignments of your own, which hopefully you can master today. If you'd like to follow along, there's a Prezi link in the information that'll break down some of the information for you. Let's start by talking about the foundation of why I decided to attack this. Van Brumlin in Walking with God in the Classroom has some wonderful information, and the best quote I found out of there is that the best learning environment for a Christian learner is one which throughout the curriculum we can explicitly plan to develop students' sense of responsibility, combining high expectations with love, encouragement, and support. So this means that the teacher is the facilitator of learning, especially when it comes to a writing or English environment. We are responsible for planning and making sure that the students have plenty of time to practice, and also providing them with the correct resources and all of the knowledge that we have available as far as us being able to make them responsible and be disciples of God. Our objectives for today are to identify effective writing, because how can we teach it or create lessons for it if we don't even know what it looks like? Understanding the elements of an effective writing assignment, or EWA, which I'll probably call it from here on out just for the sake of time, and an objective to apply our learned skills to create a writing assignment of our own. My writing assignments will be geared more toward the secondary level since I teach a 10th grade English class, but you can follow these steps and pretty much create an assignment for any grade level. The first thing we want to explore is, what does effective writing look like? Effective writing is processed and it's practiced. The only way that people can become good writers is to practice over and over again, whether that's going through the steps over and over again by writing little short anecdotes or short diary entries or writing essays, or doing something even bigger as far as doing a lot of research and writing research papers. It's processed. So it's either a process that the student went through in their head, or they went through on paper, or they went through with the teacher. It's something that has been thought out and just not thrown together and put on the paper. It demonstrates an understanding of whatever goals or objectives or whatever the prompt is. It is organized to be clear and specific. It includes fully referenced evidence. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be something that's statistics or anything that comes from an academic source. Evidence can be something that is maybe a quote or an anecdote, anything that can be expounded upon. And it is cross-curricular, so we can reach into different aspects of different subjects and different learning to kind of make it work, okay? Now, one question I want you to ask yourself right now, and you can pause the video to think about it if you need to, is, are you an effective writer based off of the criteria that's been set before you? If you are, what type of lessons helped you to evolve to become an effective writer? And if you're not, what type of lessons could have helped you to evolve? Alrighty. The next part is going to be a little bit interactive. So now that we've looked at what effective writing looks like, let's get into making that effective writing assignment. You're going to need a piece of paper and something to write with. So if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do so. Here's what I'd like for you to do. Take your sheet of paper, and you're going to draw a circle in the middle, big enough for you to write in. And then you're going to divide the rest of the paper into 4 parts. I know you can see the words on my paper already, but I'll break those down for you as the lesson develops. In the circle, and the very first thing that we want to establish whenever we're creating these writing assignments is the topic. The topic has to be something that is meaningful, meaning that it has to go with the current goals in the class. It has to go with the current curriculum, so what students are supposed to be learning. It has to be meaningful to the students. What do they want to write about? Because if they don't want to write about it, they're probably not going to do their best on it. And what do you want to read about? It has to be meaningful to you. Honestly, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to read and grade the papers. And if it's something that you're not interested in, that student probably isn't going to get a fair chance. So take, for example, my 10th grade class. This is the beginning of the school year, so we're not really testing or looking for anything in particular that's drawn out or been practiced or rehearsed. So the current goals for my class are organization, grammar, and syntax. The current curriculum that we're studying has to do with narratives and symbolism. My students like to write about or talk about pop culture, social networking, name brands, and family. And I like to read about family, history, and society. Therefore, when I'm picking my topic, if I narrow this all down, then I know that my topic is going to be some sort of narrative about family and symbols. That way I'm connecting all of those things together. If we move into the first quadrant that we've drawn out, you can go ahead and label that purpose. You have to know the purpose of what you're writing. Why are you even giving students this writing assignment? Is it a filler, which can sometimes be seen as a short answer response or a journal entry, so you're just doing something to fill up time? Is it for practice? Some of these assignments are quick writes. Quick writes take 5 to 10 minutes and nothing more, nothing less than that. It's not something that's planned or thought out. It's just something that is given to them, kind of impromptu. Is it a building block? So is this a short essay that we're going to be building on and taking through the writing process? Or is this the purpose of this essay to show mastery? So are we towards the end of some goal or some objective, and we're trying to demonstrate that we have completely mastered everything that we have learned? I like to think to begin with the end in mind whenever I'm thinking of the purpose for my writing assignment. So in this case, since my students are only in their first grading cycle, I'm going to think of this as practice, and I'm going to make this writing assignment a quick write, 5 to 10 minutes. The next thing that you want to look at whenever you're creating your writing assignment is a rubric. You need to produce one not only for yourself but for your students. Think like a student and help your students think ahead. What are you grading for? Sentence structure, grammar, organization, elaboration. Tell them what you are looking for. What are the length requirements? And what is the point detail? So for my 10th grade class, again at the beginning of their grading cycle, I'm looking for all of these things: sentence structure, grammar, organization, and elaboration. Since it's a quick write, I'm only expecting it to be 2 to 3 paragraphs. They shouldn't be able to write anything less than that or have the time to effectively write anything more than that. And then the point detail I'd actually lay out for them of how much each stage of that process is worth, or how much each different grading group is worth. So if the sentence structure is worth 10 points, grammar is worth 10 points, organization is worth 10 points, and so on and so forth. Completion is worth 50 points. Step 3, so we're in that third little quadrant. I want you to write guidance at the top. This is how we're going to get our students to create that effective writing. So this needs to be set off of the objectives. Since I'm looking more toward sentence structure and grammar, we'll go over some lessons that have to do with subject-verb agreement, punctuation, and organization. This is when you'll want to set the pace. How are you going to set the due dates for each step? Are they going to have due dates for a certain type of sentence structure? Are they going to have due dates for a certain step in the writing process depending on what you chose? What are the due dates for each of those steps? You're going to tell them about their tools, okay? Teach them about the sentence practice, punctuation, workshops. Teach them how to use a dictionary. When are you going to teach them how to use a graphic organizer to help them organize those thoughts, since that's something that you're looking for? This is also a time where you want to pull out your good and bad examples. This is what you are looking for, and this is what you are not looking for. And then lastly, in the guidance, I like to do what's called 3 before me. This is an opportunity where we get the chance to work through let's say a narrative about family and symbolism as a class. So it's something that we work through together, something that they work through with their peers in a group, and then something that they can work on one-on-one. So show your students the way. This is where scaffolding comes into effect. And then lastly, that fourth quadrant, I like to title it freedom, because this is where they get to prove it to me. Now this is where you put together your lesson or your prompt that is going to help them prove what you want them to have mastered. Okay? Well, that's pretty much all that I have, and basically I hope that you have a pretty good outline of how you're going to create your effective writing assignment. So at the end, my writing assignment will be, again, a quick write with a narrative prompt about family and symbolism. And it's going to be 2 to 3 paragraphs. They've been given their rubric and what they need to know, and they've been given time to practice in class, and at the end they just need to prove to me what they've learned. So thank you for your time, and have a good day.